Today on Rappler, Tax Chief Kim Henares is nominated to the post of Chief Justice. An online shame campaign targets politicians' early campaigning. And clothing company Bio pulls out its controversial mixed-race campaign. What's your mix? Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Bureau of Internal Revenue Commissioner Kim Henares is now a nominee to replace ousted Chief Justice Renato Corona. Henares was nominated by lawyer Elpidio Zamora Jr. on Thursday. The BIR chief is considering whether she'll accept or decline the nomination. Henares says she has to decide if it's worth giving up her work in the BIR to do something that's equally important. Asked where she thinks she'll be more effective, she says, "That is one of the questions I have to answer." Henares is a key figure in the Aquino administration's efforts to improve revenue collections by running after tax evaders. Before becoming BIR chief, Henares served as a tax lawyer in 2 reputable law offices, was head of compliance and legal affairs at ING Bank, and a development specialist at the World Bank. Asked about calls for the president to appoint someone who's not an ally, Henares says, quote, "The president has proven he will do what is right for our country." Henares is the 4th person outside the Supreme Court and the 2nd cabinet official to be nominated to the post. Automatically nominated are the 5 most senior Supreme Court justices. Another applicant for the post is a teacher who's also a nurse but not a lawyer. Rappler sources say Jocelyn Esquivel sent her application on June 7. Being a lawyer is one of the requirements for those applying for posts in the judiciary, aside from being a natural-born Filipino and being at least 40 years old of proven competence, integrity, probity, and independence. An update on the nominations: former University of the Philippines Law Dean Raul Pangalangan has accepted his nomination as Chief Justice. United Nationalist Alliance spokesperson J.V. Bautista tells Senator Coco Pimentel to adjust to the realities of politics. Bautista was reacting to Pimentel's threat to bolt UNA if the coalition includes former Senator Mig Zubiri in the same ticket. Pimentel and Zubiri were rivals for the last senatorial slot in 2007. Pimentel filed an election protest against Zubiri, who resigned before the case was resolved in court. He replaced Zubiri in Congress. Bautista says, quote, "The inclusion of Migs in UNA comes from being a member of the PMP, a partner of the coalition. It will be up to Senator Pimentel to adjust to that fact." UNA leaders, including former President Joseph Estrada, Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, and Vice President Jejomar Binay, will discuss the dispute on Monday. Liberal Party member Senator Francis Pangilinan and Butch Abad say Pimentel is welcome to join the LP ticket. Well, there's an online shame campaign on Facebook against politicians who are campaigning for elections this early. People on the page say it's still a year to go before the 2013 elections, but various forms of early campaigning can already be seen. TV and radio ads of rumored senatorial candidates, as well as billboards and posters of local politicians. Transparency and Accountability Network Executive Director Vincent Lasatin created a Facebook page to collect photos of what he calls, quote, "a malpractice." The Omnibus Election Code bans premature campaigning, but the law does not apply until the politicians have filed their certificates of candidacies.
And the public is also sort of doesn't like the idea of politicians putting their ads months and months before the political campaign season starts. The problem is the Supreme Court in, I think, 2010 made a decision with regards to what a candidate is. Prior to the start of the elections, you are not considered a candidate, and therefore anything goes. Again, another one of those poor decisions coming out of the Supreme Court.
3 generals charged with withholding information vital to finding missing activist Jonas Burgos appear before the Department of Justice today. Jonas Burgos' mother, Edita, claims retired Generals Hermogenes Esperon, Romeo Tolentino, Avelino Razon, along with Lieutenant General Alexander Llano, actively withheld information vital to finding the activist. Burgos was abducted 5 years ago from a mall in Quezon City. The case before the DOJ, filed a year ago by the Burgos family, is based on a Commission on Human Rights investigation that identifies Jonas Burgos as kidnapper. This is the 8th case filed by the Burgos family and the first time the courts have found probable cause to try the abduction case.
There's a little more hope because there's a name and there is a face. And yet the hope, hope brings back a source of pain, which is this guy, Balyaga, is given a chance to defend himself in court, a chance that my son should have had, which they did not give my son.
Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 6, United Nations Human Rights Chief Navi Pillay raises legal questions about U.S. drone attacks in Pakistan. Drones have become a central part of U.S. counterterrorism operations. The UN says the attacks are conducted by the CIA and not the U.S. military, which is bound by laws of armed conflict. Al-Qaeda's number 2, Abu Yahya al-Libi, was reportedly killed in a drone strike in Pakistan early this week. At number 8, Syrian woman blogger Razan Ghazawi is honored with this year's Human Rights Defenders at Risk Award. She has become the symbol of the Syrian uprising and is currently on trial before a military court for, quote, possessing prohibited materials with the intent to disseminate them. In a statement, Ghazawi says the award is for all citizen journalists who, quote, dies trying to tell the world what's happening in Syria when traditional media have failed to do so. At number 9, citing statistics from the Pentagon, the Associated Press counts 154 suicides for American troops in the first 155 days of the year. This figure is more than the number of U.S. forces killed in action in Afghanistan and is 18% higher from the same period last year. The suicides reflect a burdened military that has been fighting demanding wars in the last decade. American authorities say they're concerned. And at number 10, author of best-selling book The Purpose-Driven Life, Rick Warren, calls boxing legend Manny Pacquiao a, quote, Bible-quoting maniac. Warren visits the 8th Division world champion in his training camp in California for a Bible study session and to pray with the Pacquiao couple. Pacquiao will defend his WBO welterweight title against American Timothy Bradley on Sunday, Manila time, June 10th in Las Vegas. Pacquiao says 100% he's going to win. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Facebook begins rolling out an app center for mini programs such as Pinterest or Draw Something. The App Center feature opens its virtual doors to the U.S. with 600 programs geared for web browsers as well as those for Apple and Android smartphones or tablet computers. It will expand globally in the coming weeks as part of Facebook's strategy to connect its more than 900 million members on mobile gadgets. Bayo pulls out its controversial mixed-race campaign that angers Filipinos on social media. It carries the tagline, "What's your mix?" and features Filipino models of mixed descent, accompanied by text that breaks down their ethnicity. Online critics are saying it's, quote, racist and offensive. Users score the ad's implied message that Filipinos of mixed descent are superior. Bayo Vice President Lynn Agustin released an apology saying, quote, "We would like to express our regrets to those who have been offended or felt discriminated against." The controversy takes on a life of its own as Filipinos on social media come up with these memes poking fun at the campaign. People's champ Manny Pacquiao steps into the ring once more, this time against undefeated American boxer Timothy Bradley. Rappler's Carlos Cinco compares the two fighters in terms of power, speed, and defense. In terms of power, Cinco says Bradley is a solid puncher but not much else, while Pacquiao is a volume puncher who applies constant pressure and has the ability to send his opponents to the canvas. Cinco gives the power edge to Pacquiao. Cinco says speed is where Pacquiao truly shines with fast hands and nimble feet. Bradley's speed is decent, but he's not as fast. Bradley is a tenacious defender who catches punches with guard and counter punches decently. But his real asset is his stonewall durability. He absorbs punishment like no other because of superior conditioning. On defense, Pacquiao has very little head movement and is often caught with his head down. His best defense is his offense, using both his speed and power to offset incoming punches. Cinco says on this, they're even. He says this will be an exciting fight with Pacquiao emerging as the victor. Cinco's fearless forecast, a technical knockout in round 11. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Friday, June 8, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.